Mark Zegeling is the author of Little Kingdom by the Sea, a celebration of Dutch cultural heritage and architecture. You were motivated to write and research this book because of what?
Well, because of a life-changing journey. About 10 years ago, I decided to change my life because there were things going not so well with people around me, and I needed time to reflect. And I thought, let's take a step backwards and take a step forward. I decided to go to Santiago de Compostela on a Camino. I live in Amsterdam, and I decided to walk from my hometown to this destination in the north of Spain. And I thought, okay, if I start walking, it's about 2,500 kilometers walking. Then I have time enough to reflect and think about a lot of things. Well, after all, I didn't thought too much.
How long did it take you to do that?
I walked 110 days, and when I arrived, I realized this is just the first leg of a life-changing journey. And then I realized that I want to follow my passion. And my passion now leads me to Canada, to the US. We are on a book promoting tour because I wrote this book, Little Kingdom by the Sea.
And the Little Kingdom by the Sea came out of some sort of epiphany on your walk?
Well, after some years, I thought I'm a TV producer from profession. And I don't know if you're familiar with these Delft Blue souvenirs you get when you go to Holland or you travel business class with KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines. And all these houses are replicas of real monuments. So I thought, funny, people display their souvenirs, but they don't know what the story is behind the facades. So I went to all these monuments and talked with the
You banged on the doors?
Yeah, I just banged on the doors and,
yeah.
and talked to the owners. I had done already some research, so often I could surprise them with new stories about their property. And for me, this was a second Camino. So
opening up all sorts of doors to new ideas and stories,
and to myself also, because I've learned a lot about myself while.
What have you learned about yourself?
Well, I've learned that life is all about commitment and passion and determination. And of course, I knew that, but to write a book, you have to have so much patience and dedication. And sometimes you have to overcome a writer's block or whatever, and only if you work with your passion, then you can overcome these things.
When it's a passion, it's not work, though, is it? It's hard, but it's also something you don't feel like you're having to do it.
That's right. And because I'm not only the author of the book, but also the publisher, so. I work about 90 hours per week, but it's not work, so it's just fun, and I feel blessed that I'm now in Canada. We're traveling from Toronto to Ottawa to Montreal. Next week we go to New York and do the East Coast and the West Coast, all within 1 month, and talking about the nice stories behind the facades of the real monuments of these souvenirs.
Okay, so let's talk about, now this is, I'm the literary tourist, so I'm particularly interested in places that are connected to writers and bookstores and that sort of thing. And you mentioned to me that one of the houses is connected with quite an incredible bibliophile.
Yes, well, he was
in Amsterdam.
No,
or is it?
No, in Leiden.
Leiden, okay.
Leiden. That's where the first university of the Netherlands was. That's this. Well, this is the souvenir, and this souvenir intrigued me because of many wonderful inhabitants. This is how the house looked like in real. and I want to tell you something about Johan Meerman. And Johan Meerman, if you don't mind, I read a little bit
Please
from
do.
my book.
Yes.
So this Johan Meerman, he lived there at the end of the 18th century. He was a lawyer. The new inhabitant was not just anybody. As a child, Johan Meerman already stood out from his peers for his intelligence and inquisitive nature. He translated one of Molière's comedies by the time he was 10, and it was published too. 4 years later, the prodigy moved to Leipzig to study law at the city's prestigious university. Johan Meerman concluded his law studies in Leiden, after which he traveled through Europe for many months, forging friendships with a great number of distinguished academics and artists. So, and then finally, 3 years before he moved to this house on Rapenburg, he married the poet Anna Cornelia Mollerus. Well, and then the government of the Netherlands was overthrown by the French. After the French Revolution, there were many revolutions in Europe, and one of the revolutions was also in the Netherlands. So he was a lawyer working for the government, and he was fired. And he decided to go with his wife on a life-changing journey for himself too. So he was removed from power in 1795. And now he had plenty of time, so he took his wife Anna on an adventurous journey through Denmark, Sweden, Russia, Poland, and Prussia. The couple traveled from city to city for many years, visiting libraries in particular. In his diary, he wrote reviews of no less than 60 libraries. Johan Meerman was an impassionate bookworm and positively addicted to reading. And during their travels, the couple endured freezing cold, muddy roads, accidents with their carriage, and staff that abandoned them in various situations. And to compound matters, Johan Meerman fell ill, which meant that they had to stop in Moscow for a lengthy period of time. The couple didn't return to Leiden until September 1800, after visiting Warsaw and a number of cities in Germany on the way back. Well, and then the brother of Napoleon, Louis Napoleon, he became king of Holland, and Holland was de facto a puppet state of France. And this was a good king for my country. Actually, it was the first king of the country. And before this king, we had stadholders. And he asked Johan Meerman, because of his intelligence, to set up a royal academy and also the royal library. So, and because this Johan Meerman was such an avid collector of books, and
the bibliophile, yeah.
He was a bibliophile. So he stored every book about his passion in this royal library. And it's a wonderful story of this man. That's only one of the inhabitants of this house in Leiden. Well, there are many more stories to tell you about this house,
but this and many other houses, as you can see by the size of that book.
It's small in size, but it's like my country, small in size, but great in hopes and dreams. And there are about 95 houses in this book, and I wrote the story of the house and the inhabitants from the 17th century until present day.
Great. So how can people get a hold of that book and then go to Holland and go on walking tours checking out the actual houses?
Yeah, well, there are several tour guides in the Netherlands who give tours in Amsterdam and Delft, for instance.
Yes. Where these are made?
They were made after the book was published.
No, but the actual houses are made in Delft, all of them?
No, not all of them. No. There are from the 95 houses. The half is in Amsterdam.
No, but the actual porcelain houses themselves, are they made in? Oh, they're all made in Delft.
I tell you a secret. They come from China. And
oh no!
Yes, they come from China.
Oh no!
Well, first they were made in the Netherlands, but finally it's much cheaper to produce them in China.
Yes, okay.
But it's Delft Blue.
Yes.
Derived from
China.
China.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So and
so it's a full circle then.
It's a full circle because in the 17th century we imported this China ware and we tried to imitate it. But because we didn't have porcelain clay, we made an earthenware copy.
Okay.
So and because of the VOC, the Dutch East India Company, they sailed around the world and traded with 650 ports.
Sure.
Well, everywhere.
Yeah.
So and they made this Delft Blue popular.
Okay.
But the roots are in
China.
China.
Okay. So it's legitimate. Okay.
It's legitimate.
So how do people get a hold of this book?
Well, you can sell it across North America. You can order it in bookstores. You can buy it at Amazon. There is also an e-book, if you like.
Okay.
And
do you have a website?
I have a website, littlekingdombythesea.com.
Okay.
So there are many ways to purchase the book.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Mark, for your time.
You're welcome.
And your passion.
Thanks.